Hello, folks. Welcome to the Crime Dog live stream. I'm your host, Johnny Fiorica, retired detective with the Rochester, New York Police Department after serving 30 years. I worked uniform patrol. I worked undercover narcotics. I worked street investigations as a hostage negotiator for over 20 years, finishing my career with the fine men and women of the ATF. That's alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. It was a federal task force where our main focus was violence and gun trafficking throughout these great United States of America. I'm going to tell you who's sitting right next to me right now. You know who it is. He's a legendary street cop. He was an undercover cop, SWAT team member, homicide detective, David Simpson. Welcome to the pod, brother.
What up, Doe?
Yeah, this is a live stream, baby. David, we got a great show. We're going to talk about Daniel Prude, about how the local media
He sucks.
literally is still waving that guy's flag. We're going to talk about Trump trying to provide a little crime assistance, a little law enforcement assistance, if you will, in crime-ridden areas throughout the United States. Particularly, we're going to talk about Chicago. We're going to talk about Trump bombing a boat in the Southern Caribbean full of dope and gangbangers and narco terrorists. Then we're going to talk about the tweet of the
Boom.
week. The tweet of the week, David, we got a very crime-heavy episode today because I kind of feel as though obviously everyone knows it's our expertise, but I kind of feel like we've been doing a lot of politics. We've been doing a lot of politics on iHeart, on the radio show, past pods, but we've lately been going heavy on the crime, and I like that. It's right in the sweet spot of our bat.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of known for where politics and law enforcement intersect.
That's right, exactly. That's a great, but that might be a new tagline.
That's what I'm here for.
Wow, Danny, write that down. Anyways, folks, before we go any further, shout out to the Pearson family. Our brother Daryl Pearson lost his life in 2014, September 3rd, which is today. September 3rd was today, 9/14, 2014. A shout out to his family. God bless him. God bless his family. God bless Mike D, who was there, who put down the bad guy. God bless our tactical guys who are in that unit and the RPD in general. We love all you guys, all our brothers and sisters. It was a horrible day that day. I was out there on Hudson Avenue. It was disgusting, and I still got a bad pit in my stomach. Dave, were you up in homicide during that?
Yeah, I was unfortunately called in to work the murder of Officer Pearson, and while I wasn't the primary, I had what I deemed to be a haunting job that still sticks with me, which was reviewing camera footage of it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was a tough day, and my thoughts are with his family, his kids, and obviously with him and our brothers and sisters in the RPD, and especially the TAC unit.
Yeah, Mike DiPaolo was a hero that day. Put down that piece of shit. Anyways, all right, we're gonna be positive. We're gonna be positive until we get negative, right? We're gonna be positive till we. Anyways, so here's the deal, David. I was on the twits and I was behaving contrary to the way you think I am sometimes. I was behaving. I was just scrolling, minding my own business.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden, I
Hmm.
come across Spectrum News, formerly known as Our News. They're like Prince, formerly known as. Anyway, Spectrum News puts out a tweet that I literally wanted to jump through the screen on. Dan, you want to pop that up on the screen for me? All right. 5 years ago this week, since the release of body cam footage, right? Now, here's the thing. They also had in the body, this week marks 5 years since the release of body cam footage in the case of Daniel Prude in Rochester. He died in the custody of the Rochester police in 2020 during a
Wrong.
mental health crisis, David. Well, one part is
Lies.
factual. We were present. We were there. Our brothers and sisters were there for the Daniel Prude death. We were present. Okay. My presence in Yankee Stadium doesn't mean I could play shortstop and fill in for Derek Jeter.
That is
However,
correct.
our guys and girls were there. It's just so disingenuous, but it's almost a given for Spectrum News, another shitty media outlet in Rochester. You know, if Tish James, could have hung our brothers and sisters on that day, she would have. literally a grand jury that she headed found that there was not enough to go to trial and anything our guys did relative to negligence, criminality, anything. Okay. Because if they could, 2020, David, was the height of cancel culture. It was the height of defund the police, F the police. Let's lock up every cop you see. Cops are bad. Send them all to jail. And literally, this was the height of all that. And they still didn't have enough because there was nothing there. Nothing.
Yeah, and I mean, just like the fraud George Floyd,
Yeah.
the left and the mainstream media loves to turn these criminals into martyrs,
Yeah.
and blame the police, but George Floyd died of medical complications exacerbated by fentanyl, and, Mr. Prude died because he, also had medical complications related to taking PCP, so
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? I got to tell you this right now. So, for those that don't know, I'm not going to get into the whole story, but our guys had put him into the psych ward at Strong. Okay. Not pointing fingers at Strong, but whether they could hold him, they couldn't hold him to the new 941 guidelines, which is the mental health law in New York State. Whether they could have held him on that or not, nobody ever critiques. God forbid you critique Strong Memorial Hospital, the largest employer in Rochester. You don't want to say anything negative again. Oh, guess who we'll blame? We'll blame the RPD for his death. No, wrong answer, because he died pretty much, what I understand to be excited delirium, which, he had like probably a whole combination of mental health issues, medical issues, and also drug intoxication, which caused his death. Folks, that day in March of 2020, it was freezing out. Look at the body cam, look at all the footage of that. It was freezing. Our boys and girls were dressed head to toe in gear to keep them warm, and he was running around naked. Okay. Go ahead, David.
no, I'm just running around naked, breaking glass, terrorizing streets,
Yeah.
and the cops are just to let him, like, walk away, and then he spits at the police,
Right.
okay, which is assaulting the police, and they put him in a hood, which is a trained
Spit
technique.
sock.
Yeah, in order for him not to be able to spit on them and assault them, and that's the end of it, and
Yeah.
and somehow that gets turned into the police, like,
Right. He died in our custody.
They Rodney Kinged him.
Yeah, but there's just 2 points I want to make, and I don't want to beat this topic down. But the first point is when you see a
No pun
guy,
intended.
when you see a guy running around on Jefferson Avenue and he's got no clothes on, that is an indication of course, either mental illness or drug intoxication. The drug intoxication, the reason why is talking to people that have been high on PCP and the level of drugs that Prude's autopsy proved that he was on. They say that your body feels like it's burning up to the point where you get so hot that you just want to take off your clothes. And the outside ambient air temperature does not affect you at all. It didn't matter that it was freezing out. The second point I want to make, which I forgot what it was, but I'll get to it. I'm sure I will, David. But that excited delirium, at the end of the day, was him taking off his clothes and him getting the help that they brought him earlier. Like I said, the Strong Memorial Hospital. It's ridiculous that they got to run a story. What pieces of trash
Yeah, how
Spectrum
about the
is?
headline should be Strong should have held him when he
Yeah,
was brought there, and Daniel Prude would still be alive today.
right. Exactly. It just kind of, it's just unbelievable. I mean, it's believable to me, but it's just disgusting. And by the way, shout out to Glenn Purcell because I was looking over his Twitter feed, and he's the one who said, which we have said it before, but he's the one who's talked about Strong Hospital dropping the ball and not doing anything and releasing them, which I'm sure they had some legal reason why they're saying what they did. But all right, enough about that guy. Anyways, Occupy, thanks for joining us today, brother. We appreciate you. Everybody still love that video. I can't stop talking about it. What's he saying here, Danny? Keep that up. Don't you see the pattern? They stop treating mental health where they normalize what should be a mental health issue. Yep. And then they wonder why things. Yeah, exactly. That's a very good point. That's a very good point, Occupy. At the end of the day, what it comes down to, David and I have said it over and over. We're very empathetic to the mental health, people with mental health issues. Get them the help that they're going to need. And I got to tell you what, I know our heads are going 100 miles an hour. Trump's talking about putting back, he called them asylums. I think there's better terminology for that, but institutions where we can put people with mental health in and, give them the services that they're going to need, but
Yeah. I just want them off the streets. I don't care where he puts them.
so Danny, let's pop to our next topic. I'm going to talk about a little bit Chicago, David.
You're going to
Trump.
hear people,
Oh, here we
especially
go.
this
Okay.
past weekend, 54 shot, 7 dead.
Yeah.
They're going to say the city's not safe. Would you ask your friends to ride the L after midnight or after, 9 o'clock at night even to come down to the city from O'Hare?
Look, big cities have crime. There's no doubt
You
about
wouldn't
it.
answer that question.
But let's just pay attention to what President Trump is doing targeting Chicago. He's overlooking red states that have much higher crime rates.
Shifty shift, David. Yeah. So that's Governor J.B. Pritzker, who is basically, David, because he saw what Trump did. Trump's like, hey, listen, man, I solved the problem in D.C., which he all but did. I think they've had like one homicide in 3
in
weeks.
12 days.
Yeah. But anyways, at the end of the day, what it came down to is this guy's like, he's not coming here. We're not doing this. You're not getting the National Guard. We don't need the help from the 3-letter ABC agencies. It's just unbelievable that a governor who is part of a state, who's one of his cities in his state is one of the most violent in America, consistently over and over and over again, that this guy is saying, we don't want your help. I don't get it.
Well, I get it because nobody loves a criminal like a Democrat, and he's a Democrat. So I get it perfectly.
Right.
They do all they can to protect them.
Yeah. So him and his Brandon Johnson, who's the mayor of Chicago. I mean, and by the way, that lady's stats.
That guy sucks, by the way. That might be that guy is. I would rather have Hochul than that guy.
Well, first of all, I mean, I can't believe, they had the Oompa Oompa before and she left to go teach at Harvard. But anyways, you got so you got Pritzker, who's the governor. You got Brandon Johnson, who's the mayor of Chicago. They're both poo-pooing all the help that Trump wants. He's the bad man.
Both Democrats.
Right. And I'll tell you this right now. So that video, which was only like a day old, was wrong because there was 58 shot over the Labor Day weekend, 8 dead in Chicago. Man, folks, you don't understand the magnitude of violence that is. 58 people shot, 8 dead in a weekend. 8 homies, David, in a weekend. That's crazy.
Well, that just goes to show you the level of violence that city carries and has, that the leader of the state in which that city is thinks that's normal.
Yeah, it's okay.
Like the numbers are so staggering on a weekly, monthly, and yearly basis that governor thinks, that's business as usual.
Right.
Folks, you shouldn't have 8 murders and 57. It was a 57 or 58? 57?
It was 58 shootings, 8 dead.
Yeah, 58 shootings. That literally, if it wasn't for modern medicine and the ability of surgeons to save people's lives, you could have 30 or 40, 50 dead.
Yeah.
If it was 25 years ago, you would have 55 people dead.
Yeah. And David, you bring up a good point. Remember we had one of our favorite guests, Dr. Mark Gestring. He's head of the trauma team at the U of R. Dr. Gestring talked about how literally they're saving lives in the trauma bay, in the EDs of these hospitals all over the country, because at the end of the day, what they've done is they've taken a lot of the stuff that they learned after 9/11 in a battlefield and then transcribed that over to residential healthcare.
Yeah, and a lot of these surgeons have been trained in the Middle East during in the war, and they've taken that combat surgeon skill set and brought it back into the urban setting, which is not much different.
By the way, look at Gina. Gina's like, they have an entire website, which I did not know. Thanks for sharing that. There's our man, Fire Guy. Gina's like, there's an entire website that's dedicated to the victims of murders in Chicago. That's unbelievable. I didn't even know that. Thanks for sharing that, Gina. Anyways, but here's what's funny. He doesn't want the National Guard. He says, I don't want the National Guard. There's no wartime, blah, 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 blah. But apparently JB has a short memory because he brought them in last year or a year or two ago into Chicago when the Democratic convention was there, which is, I mean, it's just amazing the short-term memory they have. And he must have forgot his big city counterpart, Kathy Hochul, brought him into the subways in New York City a year or two ago to protect the New York City residents. So apparently they're all for the National Guard when it's their idea to deploy them. Make sure that the politicians are safe, but don't worry about the citizens that live in those depressed ghetto gangbanging areas in Chicago. Let them rot. But as long as the politicians from Washington visiting Chicago that are Democrat, as long as they can cross the street safely at the convention, that's okay.
Well, it's the same hypocrisy that the same government elected officials want armed security, but yet attack the Second Amendment and attack law-abiding citizens from carrying, handguns, but yet they want 3 or 4 guys to walk around with them,
armed.
That's okay. Oh, of course, armed, absolutely, armed to the teeth,
right. So let's drop a video of the mayor right now. Let's see what that idiot's got to say. Here's the mayor of Chicago, folks. Drop it.
This guy's dumb as dirt.
Spend that money on proven solutions to crime and violence reduction. We cannot incarcerate our way out of violence. We've already tried that, and we've ended up with the largest prison population in the world without solving the problems of crime and violence. The addiction on jails and incarceration in this country, we have moved past that. It is racist, it is immoral, it is unholy, and it is not the way to drive violence down.
Yeah. Well said, idiot.
We cannot return.
Look at that fat hamster behind him on his right shoulder,
that got us here in the first place. Under the previous presidential administration, we requested more federal resources to address gun violence in our city. We continue to make that same call. We have made significant progress on our own, but there is so much more that we can do if we had real support from the federal government. Our communities need more federal resources for public safety. There's no question about that. But unsolicited, unwarranted military takeover is not needed.
Thanks, Danny. David, I mean, first of all, let me just, that guy's an idiot. He's just a total idiot.
It just shows you how dumb you could be and be the mayor of a major city in the United States of America. That guy is dumb. I wouldn't hire him to take my garbage can out.
His approval rating it fluctuates depending on what day it is, between 6% and 14%, which is horrible.
Johnny, we could go into Attica and have a higher approval rating in Attica than that guy has in Chicago. I guarantee it.
100%. So this guy, David, what's amazes me is when guys and idiots like him say more cops don't equal less crime. Well, listen, folks, I'm going to tell you right now, you're looking at two dudes who used to run the streets. Okay. We used to run the streets in the worst sections in Rochester, New York. We were hired by the RPD at a time when some of the most violent times in Rochester, New York's history were going on. David worked on the West Side. The West Side, he worked.
West Side.
Jefferson Avenue, Genesee Street. He worked all those horrible neighborhoods over there. And I worked on the East Side, North Clinton Avenue, Hudson Avenue, Conkey Avenue, Clifford Avenue, Avenue D, all of them. At the end of the day, what it comes down to is, let me tell you what, when we had a surge and a rise in violence in the city, and the chief's office was like, oh my God, violence is bad in Clinton section. Let's send over all of our resources. And every time you turn a corner, there was a cop car coming. Nobody was out on the street. There was no gangbangers. There was no dope dealing. There was no gun running. There was nothing going on. Okay. So don't tell me, because I lived it, David lived it. Don't tell me that your Excel spreadsheet is going to tell you that more cops does not suppress crime. Bullshit, because it does. We lived it. We know it. So take your stats, okay? When you crunch your little numbers and you sit in your little cubicle, okay, crunching those numbers and saying how bad the cops are, we're going to guess what? We lived it. We were boots on the ground dealing with it for 30 years. So we know more cops do suppress crime. It's evidenced by what Trump is doing in Washington right now. More cops, more visibility is suppression. When you got every cop at every corner, that gangbanger ain't going on the corner to shoot anybody because he's like, I ain't doing it. Not right now. Every time I turn a corner, there's a uniform patrol. There's the FBI, the DEA, the ATF. All these people are out there. And guess what? It ain't racist. Just like Sonia said. Yeah, it's racist to incarcerate bad gangbangers. Geez, I must have forgot that memo, David.
Yeah, I mean, it's ketchup, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So one thing I wanted to point out is
Yeah.
that this is how folks that weren't in law enforcement should know from someone like us how much proactiveness and aggressiveness puts fear in criminals' hearts.
Oh yeah.
I will never forget talking to bad guys because we would kick it with them,
Yeah.
and they would say when certain cops came on at 3rd Platoon at 3 p.m., they were done. They were off the corner. They were done slinging dope for the day. They were gone. They were a ghost in the wind. Didn't mean they were still committing crimes, all right? Because you're not going to stop a criminal from being a criminal, but they weren't ruining the quality of life by hanging on the corner, selling drugs in an open air drug market, holding a gun on the person,
Right.
maybe robbing someone in broad daylight. The reason why they weren't doing that because they feared certain cops that were coming on because they were aggressive, they had information, and they were fearless, and they were going to hunt them and go after them, and they knew it.
Yeah.
So that's how you know that aggressive policing has an effect on the street level crime that affects the neighborhoods.
Yeah. 100%. And by the way, Rochester Rance came in exactly at the right time because she says her ex used to watch Shift Change on Lyle Avenue, and he was a criminal before me. So here's I'm gonna tell you, Rochester Rance. Here's the thing. I'm gonna piggyback on what David was saying. My street partner when I was a kid, when my uniform pants used to fit me and I didn't have to jump off my garage roof to get into them. When I was in uniform in Clinton section on Clinton Avenue, okay, usually the day shift, a little more long in the tooth guys, salty veterans. They were before a generation before us. It took when I came on, it took 15, 20 years to get a day job. I didn't want to work days anyways. I was a young whippersnapper working 3:30 to 11:30. When my partner at that time, Frankie Umbrino, who's a captain now in the murder unit, you see him on the news. When Frankie and I would jump in a car together, and they used to bring us in because something was going on, and they say, "Hey, go saturate North Clinton Avenue, go saturate Conkey Avenue." When I was on the streets with Frankie, and we rolled up at noon, it's exactly what Rochester Ranch just said. She's right. We roll down the window, we look out the window, and they go, "What are you guys doing here? You don't start till 3:30." So they know our shift. They know the guys. They're going to get out and mix it up with them. And they were like, well, we got to go now. And everybody would just disperse. Now, that's police work in the 90s, okay? Mid 90s. That's not happening today, David.
No, but it should happen. That we went away from something that worked. That strategy works.
Right.
Okay. Criminals need to have fear.
Right.
Okay. Any bully needs to fear someone else. And that's when the bully leaves the playground. Is when the bigger, tougher guy, the badder man comes on the playground and they're done. Okay.
Yep.
And they come back when that bad man leaves. That's how it works. It's worked since it works since Cain and Abel.
Yeah. And I'm going to make a point too, David. Remember those shirts that used to be floating around that one of us used to make? We intimidate those who intimidate others, right? And we would go out there and we would be like, "Okay, you're the ones that are on the block making everybody uncomfortable. Mrs. Johnson can't go to the store and get her milk and bread. Well, guess what? Daddy's home now, and we're going to make sure Mrs. Johnson can walk to the store now." By the way, Gina, shout out to the old neighborhood, Saratoga Pharmacy, David, right at the corner of Saratoga and Lyle. That's the old neighborhood.
Right across the street from Mad Flavors.
Mad Flavors. That's right. Oh, man. By the way, you're right, Fire Guy, County 61. That's our guy, Fire Guy from the Twits. He's right. I mean, at the end of the day, we do have a racist. I hate to use that word. I should just say
the R word.
Yeah, I know. It's such so lowbrow, but they are, man. They do not like the police, and they don't like anything that's not their belief system. City council, you know what I mean? And he called them BLM city council, and
they
Fire
like
Guy's
criminals. Right. Everything shifted when Democrats started figuring out how to make it easier, nicer, better for criminals. That's when all this started. That's when stop and frisk in New York City. All this stuff happened because they were worried about criminals being harassed.
Right. Right.
Not the 1 out of a million law-abiding citizens that got shook down. And
Right.
let me ask you, of anyone that's listening, if
Mhm.
a cop said, "Hey, you got ID on you," and patted you down, and you were in a high crime area, no one would give a shit.
No.
No one would care because we're not committing any crime. Sure, officer,
Right.
here you go.
Yeah.
But it's only people that cared and complained were the dope dealers and we're the criminals.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Well, you know, by the way, shout out Occupy. Thanks for that compliment, brother. At the end of the day, David, what it comes down to is, you know, these, I don't know if I call them kids, but it's not a slam. They are brothers and sisters, but they're so young right now. I call them kids because I'm an old man. But the cops today, I don't know if it's a combination. I think it's a combination of the criminal justice reform. I think it's a combination of 2020 where these cops are like, F you, I don't want to do it. The big food, F you, Stugada, bye bye, a little stiff arm. Because I don't know if they want to do it anymore because they're like, wait a minute, let me see. 2020, you hated us, you defunded us. I don't have enough brothers and sisters to do proactive police work. Because if I get in a fist fight with a dope dealer on the corner, or I got to chase him in the backyard, I don't know if there's enough cops to come and help me. Is it criminal justice reform? I mean, there's a ton of answers. I think all these factors are contributors. You know what I mean? It's just disgusting because they did this to policing. They did it. When I say they, it was the filthy Dems on the left. They did it to policing. They ruined policing for at least a generation, David. It is ruined for at least a generation. And I'm not just some old guy saying it. I talk to these young guys. I talk to these guys all the time. At the end of the day, they're pissed. They pissed. You know what I mean?
You said it perfect.
Yeah, I know. So listen, here's the thing, David. Let's move on because I want to move on to something that is fantastic.
That was impressive.
Yeah, thank you. Let me tell you something. So before you play the video, I got to preface. So David and I, Danny was tied up yesterday, our super producer, and we didn't want to bother him. David and I went on some sidebar texts, had some jokes back and forth, talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Asher, his son. And by the way, Viv this morning, gorgeous pics of her first day of school, little Viv. But we're going back and forth with the Ash man. You know what I mean? Anyways, and then you hit me, Danny, don't throw it up yet, but you hit me with our next topic. And I go, holy shit, I can't believe you just sent this to me. I literally just sent it to Danny in an email and CC'd you in for show prep for tomorrow. Great minds think alike. Anyways, Danny.
That's why I don't need a show prep because it's a symbiotic relationship.
You don't have to show prep at all.
Nah.
Danny, pop that video. I want to show the audience what we got working. Pop it on, Danny.
I don't do
warm-ups. Great. This is great right here. Look at this. This is a thing of beauty. And by the way, thank God there's no audio. So, folks, this is the South Caribbean Sea. If you haven't seen it, that's a TDA, Tren de Aragua. They're narco terrorists, which is what they're deemed now. They were bringing a shit ton of narcotics. There you go, from Venezuela.
I would have loved to have that joystick in my hand. Hit the red button. Poof.
Right there, folks. It's like Nintendo. Bye-bye. So, listen, sorry. Yes, we are celebrating the deaths of drug dealers.
100%.
Because we see what drugs have done to communities, what they do to families, what they do to lives. It rips apart people. So if you're sensitive to us celebrating that, probably not the program for you.
We're going to need a new boat.
This boat's taking water.
We're going to need a new boat.
Remember Jaws? He took 14 barrels. He's taking us down. Listen, folks, so I don't know if you know this, but Trump came in January 2025, and when he came in, he said, listen, hey, cartels, I don't care what cartel you are, okay, Mexico, Venezuela, you are now considered a terrorist or a narco-terrorist. You're a danger to America. You're killing our citizens. It's not happening anymore. And by the way, David, you know what I love about this? Okay, first off, I love the way the boat just got bombed. That was great. But was
that a canoe? I mean, they didn't have a better boat than that.
Yeah, did you see the oars in it?
No, I think I drive a better boat than that thing.
No, look at that thing. They had like triple.
It has a nice 3 or 4 engines on it, but I don't know. It doesn't seem that impressive.
By the way, if Maddie's listening, my boat guy, my number one boat guy who I hung out with on, I think there was like 3 or 4 outboard motors on that thing.
Yeah, they put it on a canoe.
Yeah, boom. There's no more outboard. There's no more motors on that thing. There's like
That
3
was
or 4 out.
$100,000 in motors on a $1,400 boat.
Yeah, they're done. Maddie, if you're listening, type in. I don't know what kind of boat that was. You probably could tell from the sky, but I can't. Anyways, but David, first of all, I love that the fact that exactly, Gina. So I love the fact that these narcos, these cartel people, thought that they were going to put their guys in a boat with a bunch of drugs. I mean, it had to be thousands of pounds of drugs. I'm sure that bottom, what's it called? The bottom hull, whatever they call it. I'm sure that was packed to the gills.
I know what I love is they were like, okay, if the Coast Guard comes, business as usual. We're gonna have to outrun them. We got the
Right.
3 motors. We can outrun them.
Right.
And all of a sudden, Trump
All of a
blows them
sudden.
up. How are you gonna outrun the drone?
You're not outrunning the drone.
It's
I
the
love
best.
I love the fact that there was no like this all of a
Warning.
sudden just
No,
appeared
yeah.
on the news.
Not eviscerated. Gone.
It just appeared on the news. There was 11 dudes in that boat. 11 dudes in that boat. Now, wait, David, could you
There's
imagine?
1,300 parts of 11 dudes in the South Caribbean.
Hang on. David, let's role play this for a second. Ready?
Yep.
Hey, Hector. We need you.
Why I gotta be Hector? Why I gotta be Hector?
Well, they're all Tren de Agua. They're all from Venezuela. What do you call you, Jim?
Jesus.
Hey.
Jesus.
Hey, okay, you're Jesus. Hey, Jesus. Get into the boat. We're going to try this again in the Caribbean. What's your response?
Hell no.
Hey, Hector, get in the boat.
Nope.
Guess what? I just
I'm
loaded
not a drug dealer anymore.
Oh, you're reincarnated.
Yep. I'm reformed.
You're a reformed drug dealer
call me when Trump's gone.
After Trump blew up 3 of your
Call me when
buddies.
there's a Democrat in office. Go Dogs.
Yeah, G Money. That's our G Money. By the way, G's the one who you told her why is she going on an Alaskan cruise when we were live on the show that one day. Remember, 2 Saturdays ago, or 3 Saturdays ago.
I question the sanity of anyone that takes a boat to Alaska. Or around
I heard it's
Alaska.
beautiful. Anyways,
Yeah.
Hector. So Hector, the boat we're gonna
load my house.
We're gonna load this boat. It would be great. Like I would love to see the faces of the next Venezuelan guys that draw the short straws. Who's gonna take the boat again?
I'd be like, which Jesus, me or that?
Which
I'm
one?
out.
I know, man. Oh God, what are you gonna do? That's pretty funny, folks. If you're offended, don't worry. We got a lot more show to go.
Yeah.
You're gonna be offended. All right, let's get into some positive things, David. Wow, we're moving along. Danny's gonna be so proud of us. We're only at the 32-minute mark. We could talk for days. All right, David. So
Yes, sir.
you know this next topic, or
Nope.
you might. You
Nope.
probably do. You might.
Well, I will when I see it, but I have no idea what's coming. Surprise me.
By the way, I still want to get to my Twitter foe too, but anyways.
Thank you.
By the way,
Thank you, Matt. They had $100,000 in engines on a canoe.
It was made of paper mache.
Seriously.
It looked like one of those boats that you would make.
I would expect like a yacht coming through, like mask it and it's
yeah.
Hide it a little bit.
Well, listen, aye, Captain Matt. Matt Miller is the guy though. When it comes to boats, he's the guy he grew up on boats. So, not me. I'm scared of boats.
Scared of boats or scared of the water?
Well, scared of the water. I'm scared of boats too because boats go on water. You know what I mean? But I'm not. If I'm in a showroom sitting on a boat, I'm not scared of a boat. I'm scared when you put the boat on the water.
I'm only scared when I'm drowning. I'm fine with water and boats.
I think I'd be okay on a boat on a lake because I know that there's nothing underneath the surface.
So I went deep sea fishing. I took Ash deep sea fishing.
Yeah,
off the coast of North Carolina. We're about 2-3 miles out.
Yeah.
You would not be down with that?
100% no. No.
Really?
No. I don't need to fish. I got a Wegmans a mile from my house. There's plenty of stuff right there.
You want to catch some Spanish mackerel and reel them in?
100% zero. No.
Paddle them, get them in the boat.
No. Why would I want to do that? No, absolutely not. I'm scared. I will tell you, though. I do not. By the way, Occupy always comes out of left field with those great jokes. I love that dude. So anyways, no, to answer your question, I always say I'm afraid of anything I can't punch. The ocean, heights, and fire. That's it. I'm not going to do it. But anyways,
I'm not a big. I don't want to mess with fire.
I don't like the ocean. Like even like if I'm in the ocean, I go in.
So you must not like to fly either.
flying is pretty safe. I mean,
You're pretty high in the air,
statistically.
though.
Yeah, but I know that if that thing goes down, there's a high probability I'm not going to make it.
Right.
You know what I mean? If it
Or
crashes.
there's a high probability if you go in the water, you're probably gonna make it.
No, not doing it. No way. Nothing you can do to convince me. Danny, all right. I want to go to the tweet of the week because we're going to move on to some very good stuff right now.
You wouldn't be good Tren de Aragua because you couldn't even be convinced to go in the boat without them being bombed.
Say, yeah. By the way, remember when I pronounced Tren de Agua really good? Remember one time I pronounced it good on the air? We were on a live show on Wham. I pronounced it good. You're like, wow, that was great. You pronounced it. And I try to get cocky and say it again. I totally butchered it.
I can't say it. Tren de Aragua.
Exactly. All right, this is our tweet of the reach. I hope she's still watching. Rochester Rants tweet of the week. David, listen, this is the part where
I'm blushing.
This was very sweet of her to do this. This is a little braggadocious on us because it's going to look. Yeah, I know, but we're going to.
It's not my style, Johnny.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Rochester Rants got tweet of the week. Here's what she did, folks. For those that don't know, Rochester Rants, she follows our product. She follows our program. She says, how do we let Johnny and David get a permanent show? 2 retired cops would be hysterical and informative. Hey, David, maybe I could tell, hey, Hector, get on the boat. You think iHeart would have flew?
Hey, Zeus, not Hector. Not being Hector.
Yeah, so shout out to Rochester Rants. She's promoting us.
They can't handle us full time.
I know.
I'll be honest with you, Roger Rants. I always say this, Johnny. My work ethic has dropped drastically. I don't know whether I could do a daily show.
Yeah.
There'd have to be some Chapo in it for me.
Chapo, El Chapo. So, listen, the funny thing, so Roger Rants, if you're still listening, this is the funny thing. So I screenshot your tweet and I sent it to, I sent it to the higher ups at iHeart. And I say, hey, just saying, by the way, just saying, shout out. But I
said, no response.
It was an NR. It was a total no response. I sent it to the program directors at iHeart and go, hey, this is what the peoples with an S in parentheses are asking for. So anyways, piggybacking our on that, which we have a multi tweet of the week winner, but she's not a tweet of the week. Rochester Rants is solely a tweet. However, Danny, next slide. This was funny, David, because I don't know if you saw this, but Rochester Rants says that to us, and I sent it off to iHeart. And then you got Arlene, who was a multi tweet of the week winner. Yeah. She says this and says to Senator Cooney, he says, go on the Crime Dog podcast and take honest questions, which this is sweet too. This is some braggadocious stuff we're doing right now, but we're proud of the people that support us.
We're proud of the Army, Crime Dog Army.
Yeah, we're proud of you guys. So, I mean, this is what Arlene coupled this, and I don't think Rance or Arlene knew that they were sending these messages. But anyways, this got sent within, I don't know, hours or a half a day of each other. But Arlene just threw the shot over the bow, calling out Evan Dawson, calling out everybody in Cooney. And there you are, David, responding as usual.
No, she captioned that.
Oh, she captioned that for you.
Okay. That's from like months ago. And she went back at my tweets. Remember, I said it, then took a screenshot of it, I believe, and put it on there. I believe that's what she did.
Well, shout out to Rochester Rants. We sent that to the higher ups at iHeart, and as usual, we got no response. The only time they call us, David, is when they want us to fill in. I'm just kidding, Phil. Just kidding.
I'm not.
Anyways, oh man. So David, I gotta tell you, so we ended up.
Don't forget to vote for us, by the way. We need votes still. If you haven't voted, please vote for us for Podcast of the Year. City Magazine, you can figure it out.
Yeah. You go to Rock City Magazine or something like that. And then basically what ends up happening is the nominations, the top 4 nominations. So if you nominate us, the top 4 nominations go to the second round. And then people vote on the top 4 nominations. So we need your help. We need the Army to get together. We need the Army to go and flood the gates because, David, if we win it,
We got plans.
That's right. Two guys that never wore any of their award bars on their uniform, but we're gonna get a title belt.
I'm gonna have a championship belt and a chinchilla mink.
By the way, you know what we should do if we do get nominated before they? We should get like a table with our tweet of the week winners and put them at the table with us at the Rock City. And then if we lose, it'll be like a Major League Baseball fight. We just charge the mound.
Wait.
Yeah.
They announce the winner like the Grammys or something when we're all sitting there?
First of all, David, it sounds good. I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. I don't know. Maybe they do it at the dinner. I don't know. There's probably not even a dinner. I'm thinking this thing's big like the Oscars. For
No,
Rochester.
it's not. You get like a little plastic trophy. That's why I'm gonna have to get biased championship belts because I can't walk around with a little figurine as my trophy.
The little like the bobbleheads, like your Trump bobblehead.
No.
So anyways, David, speaking of the twits and the Twitter, folks, every now and then I share with you, and I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to glorify him and give him 16 followers because I don't want to bump it up to 16, but I don't mention his name. David blocks him. I don't.
Only person I've ever blocked. It doesn't exist to me.
Yeah. Yeah, baby. Yes. You're getting one, Cyber Midget. That's our girl that Cindy B nominated us for. She's the one who started the ball rolling, too, on the Rock City podcast of the week. She's the best. Anyways, so by the way, see how easily we get distracted? We read the bottom of the screen. Danny's
I'm laser focused. I'm trying to keep up with where you're going.
I know. All right. So let's stay focused. So at the end of the day, what it comes down to is, David, you talk about constantly about me getting into fights with people on Twitter, mainly one person in particular. I'm not going to say their name, but if you look at my feed, you'll know who they are. So he sends me a girl floating in the pool, right? It's a video.
Hold on,
a little girl.
Hold on, let me visualize this. Keep going.
She's a little girl. Yeah, she's like under the age of like 10. She's floating in a pool. She reaches for a doll that's on a floaty. She falls in. It's this big dramatic video. And by the way, the video is all white people. Let's start there. All white people.
That's racist from him.
Yeah, it's all white people. And then it goes into, by the way, more children die from gun violence than
I like that voice.
anything. Thank you. More children die of gun violence than anything else in America. I'm like, okay, well, thanks for sending it to me, number one. And by the way, wrong guy to send it to because fact one is the overwhelming majority of people that we classify as kids and children in America are really gangbangers because they're the kids that are getting killed by gun violence. So little Betsy, who's going to St. Cecilia's, isn't getting mowed down in her driveway. You know who is getting mowed down? The guy that's selling drugs in Chicago, in Rochester. And usually he is what they classify as a child.
Over 50% of the homicides in the United States of America are committed by 13% of the population.
You got it.
Which is African American.
Well said, David. So at the end of the day, what I also want to tell you is the overwhelming majority, if you look at the stats, some of these cities, because New York did it, raise the age, right? Raise the age means what level do you call a kid, a child, a juvenile, or when do they cross over that threshold into adulthood? And some of these cities have the age that they did in these studies anywhere from 1-year-old to 20 to 18 to 19. It gets very high. So that's why the numbers of what they classify as
19's middle age.
No, yeah, no kidding, right? But anyways, this is the reason why I got to argue with idiots like this on the twits, David. It's just unbelievable.
No.
I have to. I'm not blocking anybody. I can't block.
You do not have to argue.
Yeah, I do. What do you mean I don't have to?
Ghost. Poof. They don't exist.
I try that. I do try that. You're a bigger person than I am. You know what I mean?
I'm not. I just have the ability to eviscerate and erase someone from my mental capacity. I don't even think of them. They're gone. They're a ghost. I wouldn't recognize them if he walked down the street and bumped into me and said hi. I'd be like, who are you?
Remember whack-a-mole at Putt Putt when we were kids? When the little mole would pop up and you
Oh,
had the little
yeah.
mallet and you whack it? I get in these moods sometimes, David, where it's like whack-a-mole.
You can't just walk away from the whack-a-mole.
It's like walking away and there's the mole. And I'm like, I got to hit him with the mallet. That's what I think sometimes. I'm like, I can't. I know I try. Pamtastic tells me all the time, Johnny, just stop. You're a 55-year-old dude. Just end it. I said, I know.
Promises made.
Promises broken.
My boy.
Yeah, that's Fire Guy. Fire Guy argues with Barnhart, Cooney, and Schumer. We love it. Folks, listen, man.
One thing. When I'm the voice of reason, there's a problem.
When you're the voice of reason, get on a boat with triple outdoor motors on it, whatever they're called, outboard motors.
400 kilos across the Caribbean.
Oh my God, it's so great. Cooney blocked him. That's a sign of Fire Guy. That's a compliment, man. Whew. All right, David. This was a heavy show. Shout out to our boy Josh.
A shower. That was exhausting.
Yeah. By the way, David, we're gonna definitely do a pod with Josh from Blue Line to tease that because he and I have been sidebar texting. There's some things that we're gonna definitely expose.
I'm left out of every meeting, which is fantastic.
Yes, we do leave you out of a lot of stuff. You're just there when we flip the switch.
I just want to be a pretty face. That's all I want to be. I
like to say gorgeous, but that's just me. Yeah, we're going to do a pod with Josh from Blue Line because there's some things with the military, the VOA, the Veterans Association, especially with some of the medical things that are going on that need to get exposed. And we're going to try to help him out with that. So shout out to our main man, Josh. We were talking offline on that. That's going to be something coming in the ranks.
And that's going to be a podcast or a live show?
It'll be a podcast.
Roger
We're going to do a podcast with him. And by the way, folks, October 15th is our live show. We are flipping the switch. So this show that you're watching right now, live in person.
I need an outfit.
We're going to, by the way, don't ever say that to me again.
I need an outfit.
Oh my God.
One more time.
You're like my daughter and my wife.
I need an outfit.
By the way, my daughter's watching right now. It's just like grandma, honey, when we talked about, okay, grandma, my mother's already got her outfit picked out for the October. It's a month and a half away.
Oh, yeah. I need to get one.
I'll be honest with you. Not only do I have an outfit picked out, I don't even know if I'm going to go.
You're going to wear black and a crime dog hat.
Yeah, 100%. But folks, thank you for voting. Remember to vote for us for the best podcast, Rochester. I'm going to tell you another thing. October 15th, folks, it's going to be at the Winfield Grill. All day is going to be First Responder Day. So at the Winfield Grill, 647, one of our sponsors, North Winton Road, what they're going to do, anybody that is law enforcement shows an ID, you are going to go there and you're going to get 20% off of your tab, which is really cool. So shout out to the Winfield for doing that.
How much off?
20. I think it's 20% that they talk about. 10%, 20. What do I know? 5, 51. It doesn't matter. But either way, you're going to get a percentage off your tab. Not your bar tabs. You're not going to go there and drink like Haas Cartwright.
I was thinking that was good.
It's your food tab you're going to get off of, but it's dine-in only. And then we're going to set a makeshift booth up in the dining room area, and we're going to flip the switch live. Oh, county. No, first responders. Come on, county guy. You know that. You guys are welcome.
Does he not know what a first responder is? Come on,
he does. He's our guy, county fire guy. But yeah, so at the end of the day, see, that's my dog. She's like, yeah, grandma said the same thing, Dave.
100%.
Lay out the outfit, put it on the bed, iron.
I got to go through like 3 outfit designs, and I got to try them out and see how they feel, and then probably day of I'll change it.
Yeah. Well, she's got her outfit. She just said so.
That a girl.
But anyway, so it's going to be October 15th at the Winfield. We flipped the switch live at 8 p.m. It's called Dinner with the Dogs.
We're going early, 8 p.m.
Yeah, we're going to go about an hour and a half earlier because as soon as they shut down for dinner, we'll probably be flipping that switch around 8 o'clock, 8:15. But it's definitely going to be an earlier show. We'll send out stuff on social media to let you guys know that.
Are they pumping that throughout the whole restaurant?
Yeah, that's what I think so. Danny and I, by the way, we'll talk off air, but Danny and I are going to go there sometime this week.
Oh.
And we just talked about it before you locked on. So we're going to talk about that. We're definitely going to, Occupy, I'm going to dress like Ric Flair for this event. But anyways, it's going to be October 15th. It's going to be awesome at the Winfield. It's going to be phenomenal. We're going to have a great time. Probably do some giveaways. The guest list is going to be confidential, but it's going to be
big time
guest list, folks.
Big time.
They've already committed.
Heavy hitters.
Wait, Gina, that's hysterical, by the way. She should dust off your best Louis Cordial shirt.
Oh my God. If you have a Louis Cordial shirt, I will.
Okay.
Where's mine?
Okay, time out. You know, my best buddy, Louis Polizzi Jr., his dad is Louis from Louis. He started Louis Cordial.
I know. Do you know one of my first undercovers when I was in the Vice Squad was that Louis Cordial?
Was that the Cordial?
Yeah. I got to sit there and drink and look at boobies all night.
Yeah, it's going to be at the Winfield October 15th, Rance. So, well, hang on. This is a story for another day. I'll tell you the greatest night of my life when I was barely 16 years old. And Mr. P's like, my door guys aren't here. Threw me and Louis Jr. in the back of the Lincoln. Drove us right to the hood. We were playing ping pong in the basement. Drove us right to the hood. And we had to work the door at the Cordial from like 6 o'clock at night till 2 a.m. It was the greatest night of my life. I'm not going to lie to you. Greatest night of my life.
I need a Louis Cordial shirt.
By the way, no doubt we'll be getting Cordial shirts. Anyway, so shout out to Mr. P. God rest his soul. I love him to death. Yeah, West Side all day, Gino.
Easy,
oh man,
easy.
All right, so David, we're gonna end this right now because I feel like I'm babbling. I'm getting distracted by the stuff coming across the stream, but I love it all. That's what we did this platform for. People are interacting with us. Love it to death. We're gonna go off the air. Occupy, we love you. Here's the deal, folks. We are live. This stream is going live every Wednesday at 9:30, with the exception of October 15th. But we have our live show. David and I will be live in studio this Saturday. We'll be in the iHeart studio doing our show from noon to 1 p.m. So click into that and listen to us there. Don't forget to support our sponsors, Fleet Feet, Ellen, and Boots. We love you. You're an OG sponsor. Support Lou Falvo at the Falvo Agency. Rick Borelli, awesome sponsor. He's slowly becoming an OG sponsor too from WCI Realty. He's the best realtor in town, him and his team. And of course, the Winfield Grill, that we love them. They're our newest sponsor. David, you got anything that you want to end with?
Nope.
All right. That's right. That's right, Gina Fireman. This is a shout out to our guy, Fire Guy, right? What do we say, David?
Fire guys always think they're like left out.
I know,
everyone
but
loves
fire.
Everyone loves a fireman. They're like, how do they feel insecure?
Even the cops love firemen.
I understand.
Although, wait,
I'm just saying.
Did you ever have that shirt that I made? No, I didn't make it. I got asked to make it. Fire Guy's going to get mad.
Real cop? What? The real cops work in the city?
No, it was God created police officers so firefighters can have heroes too.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Damn, that's good.
He's gonna be. I made those shirts.
Came up with that. That's good.
Yeah. Fire Guy's gonna get mad at you now for making me say that. I know, Fire Guy. See what he does to me. All right, Rochester Ranch, you're a legend. We appreciate your tweet of the week. We appreciate everybody listening. Thank you for participating. This is exactly why we started the show. We want interaction with people that listen to us. There's Fire Guy. He says I call bullshit. We love you, Fire Guy. All right. Danny, we're going to wrap this baby up. Folks, thanks for listening to the Crime Dog live stream. Your host, Johnny Furica, sitting alongside my trusted co-host, David Simpson. Folks, thanks for listening to the show. We hope you stick with us for future episodes. But like my brother-in-law, Frankie Grassi says, if you can't make it, who cares?
Hoorah.